Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Movie Goons. I am Eric. That is
Nick.
very good.
Yeah.
And that is
RJ.
And this week we're going to be talking about the 1981 horror film My Bloody Valentine. So we can hopefully get this out in time for Valentine's Day.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so as I said, 1981. This is not the 2013 remake, which, to be fair, I haven't seen. He has. We'll get to that. So the movie starts out. It's in a little town called Valentine, which is... They don't say it's in Canada, but it's in Canada.
Yeah.
Every one of the actors.
Everybody knows it's in Canada.
Yeah, you can tell just what this movie's all about. But anyway, so it's about this mining town called Valentine. And 20 years ago, Harry Warden was a guy who went nuts in the mine and then decided to kill everybody in town that were celebrating Valentine's Day by cutting out their hearts with a pickaxe.
Well, the reason why he wanted to kill everybody was because the two bosses decided to leave work early and not take care of the miners in the mine shaft, so they all almost died. Well, everyone died except for him because they slacked on their job to go to the Valentine's party.
All because they wanted to fuck at a dance.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
That
Like,
wasn't way too much. That was the plot.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean,
That
like, yeah, we could have got away with less.
Could have gotten away with crazy guy kills people with pickaxe. It's been 20 years since Harry did all this, and they've decided to have their first big Valentine's dance that's, well, village-wide. I mean, it seems like there's 2 streets.
Yeah.
And
And a mine.
a mine.
That
It's a
happens
small
to have a
town.
snack shack on. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. They were going to have the Valentine's dance, even though the mayor is telling them we shouldn't do this because Harry's going to come back and kill everybody. Even though nobody's heard from Harry for 20 years because he was committed to an insane asylum. But he's going to come back. The preliminary setup for the dance, the town is all decorated, and then things start going sideways. As soon as main character, who's TJ, shows back up in town from being away on a teaching job for a while.
Oh, was that it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they kept calling him. I thought they were calling him
Oh.
Tej, like like TJ,
Yeah.
Tej.
They called him Teach. He left for a teaching job.
I thought it was just
There you
because
go.
he left just because he wanted to leave this small ass town. I didn't know he
Yeah, he
wanted to go teach.
He went and he became a teacher, and they never explained why he wasn't a teacher anymore, and he came back to this shitty little town to become
To be a
miner.
miner. Yeah, no
They
kidding.
never actually explained that.
There's a lot of things they didn't explain.
I know.
Yeah.
But,
seriously.
So Tej is back, and he's fighting with Axel over Sarah, who, I should point out, these guys are all supposed to be youngish,
Yeah.
mid-20s maybe.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
clearly in their late 30s or
Like,
40s.
easily, all of them.
Yeah,
It's worse than most
easily
high school movies.
Middle-aged
Yeah.
men playing college or high school students, and everyone is approximately what would you say 20s? They're
Well, the
supposed to
first-
be,
Except for
college
the,
kids.
well,
They're
a lot
supposed
of
to
the
be college
ladies
kids.
looked like they could have been younger.
Except
Some of them looked like they were older with a lot of makeup on.
Like the first woman. And
Yeah, but some of them legitimately looked like they could have been in their early 20s.
I have nothing to add there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a weird casting choice, I guess. They were because we can't find anyone better to actually act in this movie.
And also,
So,
this was,
why
I
not?
looked this up on IMDb while we were watching it because I got bored at parts. And so I looked it up, and they did film this on this little island off Nova Scotia's coast that actually did have a working mine. They filmed in the real working mine.
It didn't really look like a mine, though.
I think some of it was sets, but
Yeah.
the outside where they were filming, where it was all fenced off and everything, that was a real working mine. I think they used, the exterior buildings, but then you got to, like you said, the snack shack.
Yeah, well, even inside the mine, it looked like somebody was going through a shopping mall in parts and just blacked out the walls. That's a lot of construction for just a mine.
Well, yeah, that one part, it looked like a kitchen almost.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
that's
snack
Matt.
shack.
Hey, everybody. That's our buddy
Just
Matt.
adding
He's-
in my 2 cents.
Yeah.
He's a guest on this shitty movie review. No.
But I did notice that the snack shack at the mine was just a redressed version of the same set they used for the community center.
Yeah, they did reuse
Yeah.
the same set a lot.
All they
That's
did
a
is
good
they
observation.
reversed the shot. 'Cause
Yeah.
The community center, the pool table was on this side.
Well, the lighting
There's a bunch
scheme
of
was
chairs,
the same.
and it was exactly the same chairs and
Yeah.
tables.
Yeah.
But the pool table was on this side. They just reversed the shot.
Oh,
Okay.
that explains that. Oh my
Cause,
god.
Yeah.
well, yeah, the
Holy
Union
shit,
Hall.
that's
That was
weird.
it, the Union Hall. They were gonna
Yeah,
have the
well,
party at the Union
Union
Hall,
Hall.
and then the cops shut it down because the killer's out there. Okay, everything in this movie could have been easily avoided if the cop had just told everybody why he was shutting everything.
Yeah.
Instead
It
of
was like ah.
Well,
instead of
everybody would just be freaking the hell out.
Well, yeah, but
You know, that's
he
that's
was-
what
I
he's
mean-
trying to do.
honestly, wouldn't you rather have people be freaked out than getting killed? I mean, Jesus, like,
Oh
No,
yeah,
then it could cause a public panic. Remember that he actually came out and said that. Yeah, there's someone going around tearing
Yeah.
people's
There's
parts out
8
with a
people
pickaxe.
that live in this town. We don't want to have like a.
Not anymore. You had to call in extra people from out of town by the end. Remember?
Yeah, right.
It's not like he called the state police that showed up. It
From
was just like
Centerville, wherever the hell that was.
another
Like,
miners showed up to help him. That was just weird.
And their solution was to charge in with this like known like psycho killer in like a mine shaft with just a bunch of guys and some shovels and like
And
headlamps.
flashlights.
Yeah, and flashlights.
They were planning to
And-
blind him to death, and they would just push him down the mine.
And just kick his ass with some shovels and just bury him there. That was their plan all along.
Yeah, I noticed that of the like 20, 30 people or so that went down to the mine at the end, only the sheriff or constable or whatever he was the only one that had a gun.
yeah.
And they all know they're going after a killer.
Yeah.
No one's smart enough to think that through. They're like, yeah, he's got a pickaxe. I'm fine. I got a shovel. I'm good.
Well, you can't convince me that this rural town that's, just, they do coal mining, etc. You can't convince me there's one gun in town.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is.
No one's smart enough to carry guns on hand.
It's
at
Canada,
that
but
point.
still. like,
Yeah, it's Canada.
Canada has.
Rednecks is rednecks.
Well, not yeah, Canada
Edit
has
that out. Edit that out.
Canada has guns too. They're just they aren't as crazy about them as we are. So. Edit that out too.
Social commentary. Okay. But I think here, there's not really much to say other than, the kills weren't that creative, other than the shower scene. I like the shower scene.
Shower scene was nice.
I don't know, that eyeball thing was.
The
pretty-
eyeball thing.
That was
That's
that
true.
was-
That was the most brutal pickaxe swing I've ever seen before.
That was good. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
that was
a
good.
underhanded swing that came up under the chin and out through the eyeball.
And
It
the
was-
eyeball just
yeah.
kind of like hung there. That
That
was a
was
very
nice.
nice.
Just
detail.
like
Yeah.
you instantly took this sweet old man and turned him into a shriveling up, like zombie looking, like done dude.
He
It was
was just-
scary. Scary
What?
looking.
Yeah.
Because his freaking eyeballs hanging out, he's just done. It's just whack.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You aren't done. I think that Mr. Mustache,
Yeah, he was done.
No, not Harrison. Anyway, whatever his name was. He's Mr. Mustache to us.
It
When
was
Mr. Mustache got,
Mustachio.
the strongest guy in the fucking
Yes.
movie.
He had the power.
he was able to take a nail from a nail gun to the temple, still be somewhat functional, take one straight through the forehead,
And walk.
and be able to walk like halfway out of the mine to go die in front of his friends.
and warn them of this killer.
Well, I think
That's
that was
a badass.
his final will. Like he was like, I'm gonna die with my friends. Like even though I'm like.
He had fucking nails in his
Yeah,
head.
it was driven forward.
I-
It was just like I'm going to die. I'm not gonna die in this kitchen alone.
I think he was
this
just
mine
brain
kitchen.
dead. He's probably just brain dead, and he was like kind of just on autopilot at that point, just like wandering.
It was
around.
like the last fragment of his soul was just crawling back.
Speaking of brain dead, can we talk about Howard?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Howard.
God.
Oh god. Yeah, the
What?
most fucking ridiculous.
If you're
stupid
gonna hire
character you
if you're
could
gonna
ever
hire
fucking
somebody
have
with
in a
like
movie
bad teeth
was Howard.
to be in your movie, don't like zero in on his face. all the
I
time.
I swear, for half the movie, I thought he was wearing like those plastic joke teeth you used to be able to get.
Yeah, it's like
Because
broken ass teeth and stuff. Like it was.
It was the
gross.
way he spoke that made it sound like he was wearing. There was something in his mouth as he spoke. It was.
It was like
Weird.
Jughead with a drunk Canadian like white trash, reject combined with somebody in this movie, and that's you get Howard, who just messes around with the whole movie, takes nothing serious whatsoever, and ends up you want him to die as soon as you meet him.
Yeah, but his death was pretty glorious.
But it was also
I
one of
mean-
the last ones, man. We
Yeah.
had to suffer for that.
Yeah.
I wanted him to live for a while.
Yeah.
Now I want you to suffer.
Okay, so Howard got hanged, and apparently
He was well hung.
The force with which he was dangled off the edge of the mine was so powerful that it separated his head from his body, which they would have had to started cutting beforehand for that to happen. You're not gonna.
I don't know, you drop him from high above, which they never
The
explain
force,
how.
the force might actually cut his head from his body.
This is a horror movie. They have different
man.
physics than reality.
Yeah, question horror movie physics, man.
So the 2013 remake, this was actually nothing like the original movie, because the kills were so much more violent and the movie was focused more on just the fact that it was shot in 3D. It was the first time around 3D was really big, and so they love to show off that
Blood was in your face constantly, and there was violent kills, and the killer wasn't actually portrayed as such a psychotic strong man that he was in this movie, but he was actually a sneaky motherfucker who just clubs you in the back of the head, just pickaxe you, and rips your heart out. But
This is the problem I have with some of these remakes.
So there was a pickaxe in it?
there was a pickaxe, but he actually
Just like that.
throws it at people at one point to knock someone out, and another point he throws it again to club someone in the head. And so yeah, he tries to use it in a weird way. So both movies aren't that great, but they both have their charm.
That's the problem I have with the remakes these days. If you're going to call something a remake the existing material, not just the basic concept. If you're just
Right.
going to take the basic concept and run with it, why not just say, this is a 20 years later sequel like
Right.
Tron did or somebody like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I
I mean,
agree.
Especially when, like you said, they're not really following the same story other than there's a guy with a pickaxe killing people.
Right.
That's crazy.
And it just so happens to be St. Valentine's
And it came
Day.
out in 2013, huh?
Right, yeah.
That's hilarious. Because the band, My Bloody Valentine,
Oh.
they
no.
released their comeback album in 2013 after a huge gap of time too. So that's kind of funny that they all it's free advertisement for everyone right there, the band. And
Well, my question is, since again, I haven't seen the 2013 one, did they do a song for the soundtrack?
Oh,
Could that be one of the reasons why?
That could
no,
be,
they did not.
probably not.
From what I remember, they didn't.
They're
as
really
far as
down.
as far as
I
know.
don't think they would really fit in a horror movie that well.
Still check both of them out, but I wouldn't recommend them. What would you say? Would you
I have
recommend it?
limited recommendation on this one. I have a soft spot for 70s. I hate using the term grindhouse because it got so popularized, but just 70s trash cinema. I know this is made in '81, but it still has that same cinematography that you got in the '70s movies. You know, a car.
It's Canada.
Seriously, that was a very 70s feel. The way
Yeah.
they were dressed and everything.
And not just that,
Yeah.
and even the way they were driving around. I mean, you see a movie
Yeah.
that's made in the later '80s or something like that. Everybody's he comes around the corner. There's the cop parked right here. The weirdo comes around the corner. And '70s, he was fishtailing like this till he got here because they thought it looked good on film. By the time you get to the
Yeah.
late '80s, he's just doing this massive drift and possibly even coming around to face the cop like this. Yeah, I like that
Yeah, I don't.
one take seeming action shots. They may not have had permits to be there, so they just got it done quick.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
dog.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
There's a scene
I like
where
that
the cop is backing his truck out. He's
And he hits the curb.
and he
Yeah.
one he hits the curb, and two, all of a sudden a dog just runs after the
yeah.
car for
I
no
was
reason.
afraid that dog was going to get hurt. I really
I
was.
was actually fearing for that dog.
It
for a
was
minute.
almost like we don't have time to
Yeah.
reshoot this. Just let
Just
keep
go.
the dog in
Yeah.
it. Just, who cares?
All right, it's out of sight. Load the cameras in the car. We got to get to another part of town before they catch us.
Yeah, if the dog gets hit, the dog gets hit. Just fuck it. Just go.
So
just
yeah.
keep filming.
So I'll recommend it because of that. Because I like the cinematography. I like the aesthetic.
Yeah.
As far as the story goes, the characters were too annoying for me.
Yeah.
I know the characters in most '80s horror slasher blah 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 were annoying characters you couldn't wait to see die most of the time.
It's just
These guys were just
unbelievably
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cartoonish almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, a limited recommendation. If you like that aesthetic, go for it because it's got
Right.
that grainy, gross feel about it. If you're in it for the story, yeah, you can skip this.
Yeah, the
The only thing
story
I
sucks.
recommend it for is like for just like trashing on. Like if you need a movie to like just rip jokes at like constantly.
Yeah,
It-
absolutely.
it-
yeah.
Good for that.
It's
Yeah,
it's
really.
fine
There's
for
a lot of good ones
that.
out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a movie to get drunk with your friends and just rip on and just ridiculously just mock, absolutely watch this movie.
Yeah.
You know, there you go. Just rip on this movie, get drunk with your friends, get high with your friends, watch this movie, and you have a good night. But if you watch this with by yourself, you're a sad person. you're a sad person.
I've seen it by myself. So I think that about wraps it up for episode 2. Anybody else have anything to add?
Well,
No,
yeah, I just want to
no.
say that I really wish that Mustache Man had a final showdown
Oh,
with
yeah.
the killer, because
Yeah.
he was obviously like the strongest dude in there, and it would have been awesome if he just like took his shirt off and was just like, "Rah!" and just like punched the shit out of the dude, knocked him down the shaft, and maybe that wouldn't have killed him, but it would have been awesome. And I think a lot of people will agree with me on that.
Yeah, I agree.
That sounds like something from what he said would be in the 2013 movie. Because
Yeah.
they have the camera at the bottom of the shaft, so the guy fell at you in 3D.
Oh wow.
I also wish the Mustache Man actually died like a hero. However, he ended up dying kind of like a bitch, but he warned his friends at least.
I thought it was, I don't think
He
he died
was-
like a bitch. I kind of liked his wandering around with the nails in his head. I
You
kind
know
of like that.
what?
That was good.
But another thing, again, because I got bored and looked up stuff on IMDb, Mustache Man looked familiar to me throughout the movie, and it's kind of bothering me. That's why I was looking it up. He was also in Meatballs. He only did like 3-4 movies. He died in 2007. He was only 51. But
Rest in peace, Mustache.
it was
Man.
Meatballs that I knew him from. And going with that, I know we have the next couple of movies already scheduled out. But someone here hasn't seen Meatballs.
I actually have not seen
Yeah,
Meatballs.
I've never seen that.
I look forward to seeing Meatballs though.
Evidently, I'm the only person here who's seen Meatballs. So we're going to have to show that
I
one.
think I've seen part of it, but yeah, it's been such a long
That
time.
one's an actual good movie. It doesn't really fit with what we do.
So that's a comedy.
I mean, I don't know. Who else has seen Meatballs like recently?
Lots of people.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know
who
what?
else, like,
Most
recently,
of
who
the movies
thinks
that
of
we see are
Meatballs?
B movies, and I wouldn't call that a B movie. I'd call it like a B minus movie or B plus movie. Right, going up a little bit closer to A.
Not exactly B movie, but drive-in movie material.
Drive-in movie. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
But all right, so that wraps it up for episode 2. For what we're going to do for episode 3, next week we are going to be at the Silver Scream Movie Festival in Santa
can't
Rosa.
wait.
It's going to be put on by Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, Forey Ackerman's old magazine, and we're going to be there, being idiots, helping people find their chairs and trying to get people not to sneak in to see Black Panther while they're there. We're also going to be hopefully getting some interviews. We've got a couple tentatively lined up. We're waiting to hear confirmation on it. And that will end up being episode 3. It's the interviews we do. We'll be back to doing some sort of movie 3 weeks. We're going to be watching Flash Gordon from 1980. That was it.
Oh.
So, and one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Yes.
So-
Queen.
We'll be back with interviews of people you may or may not have heard of. If you're liking the movies we watch, you probably heard of them. Following that with April Fool's Day. It's from 1986. So, from us here at Movie Goons, bye.
Bye, guys.
I got nothing else.